I'm literally fumbling my way through this thing. But yes.
You got to somehow take all that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude. That's what I booked it under was Jeff and Nancy. Dude in the background says, my name is Jeff Waterman.
You guys trying to steal my room?
Oh, my man. And Donald said, I'm going to stomp you whenever I see you. I was like,
content doesn't stop with just what we talked about here.
We're going tag team 5-on-5 WWE. Somebody's catching the power bomb tonight.
Money don't make money.
Already? What's up, boys? It's time to have another Checkers or Wreckers tonight. D, it's been a couple of crazy weeks for us. How you feeling right now?
I feel pretty good, a little bit tired, but man, YOLO, you know what I'm saying?
You look like you dragging up a little bit tonight, dude.
I got a little bit of monster. It'll keep me giving my second win.
That's
so
it.
We
That's
good.
It. Quinton, I know you about tore your ankle in half today running across the bumpers of the four-wheelers and trying to roundhouse kick a GoPro. How's that leg?
Oh, man, it's feeling good. You know, got a couple ibuprofen, some liquid courage. Swelling's going down.
Bro, when we get to the honky-tonk in just a little while and you're two-stepping, you'll forget about that ankle.
I'm going to tell you right now, you should see me trying to put on my boot. I've got my mind made up. If it gets bad, it's getting cut off.
Speaking of honky-tonking and speaking of boots, we got a special guest tonight, the UFC legend. And even if you don't watch UFC or don't know what MMA is, you know this dude. Cowboy, Donald Cowboy Cerrone from the UFC. So people that don't watch fighting, Cowboy, you've got a resume that surpasses any fighter to date as it pertains to UFC, right?
Correct.
Most fights in UFC history.
Right.
Most fights of the night in UFC history.
Most wins.
Most wins in UFC history.
Most bonuses.
Most pay bonuses.
Most submissions. Most head kicks. Pretty cool.
Dude, when you break that down, all that lets me know is this dude likes to fight and he's good at
number one
it.
Significant strikes.
Significant strikes?
Yeah.
That's just a sustained record right now.
Yeah.
I've literally never even heard of these accolades. What is
Dustin's the one that told me when we were headed out to the
right.
ranch the other week.
Yeah, I've heard of Donald. He's got all the records.
It's just years of doing it, and that's what happens when you're the old man.
Yeah, that you've been the dog that's been around for a while, huh?
Yeah.
When you look back on that, because you've had so many fights and you do have all those accolades, like, do you consider, like, dude, I have fought a lot of people and I have punched a lot of people in their faces?
I love it. It like gets me up and gets me going, you know, but it's like my favorite thing to do is fighting.
Which is so crazy for most people because the fight or flight is like your human nature and most people are flight type people. So like a fight for you is just another day in the office.
Yeah, so if I had to put it in layman's terms for you, somebody's nightmare is a dream come true for me.
It's what makes you happy.
Yeah, like if we were at the gas station, 4 gangbangers pulled up, people be locking the door, putting in park, I'd be like, hell yes.
Dude, you got to tell this story. I don't know if D heard it. So you fought a lot growing up, like when you were in high school, college age and stuff like that. And you had a signature move when your buddies knew it was go time for you.
Yeah. Well, so I shouldn't say signature move, but we weren't always invited to parties, our group.
Yeah.
We were kind of the wild, crazy guys, so they would always have a party without us. Well, if we found out that the party was going on without us,
You was coming.
yeah, we'd usually just come and then we'd steal the keg and then we'd take the party back to our house. But normally when you walk into a college party and you take their keg, and the women usually follow that, they get pretty upset.
They don't take kindly to it.
Yeah, so we just holler at my buddy Mikey and say, Mikey, go ahead and lock that front door.
But if they don't give you chills for a man to say, hey, go and lock that.
Like he's not that worried, that much confidence. Y'all were probably most of the time outnumbered, right?
Oh, every time. We never have the numbers, but
that's
we
the
have the
difference.
crazy.
I was about to say, that's the difference between fighters and frat boys, right?
Yeah.
Bro, and I would guarantee you probably 9 times out of 10, the flight instinct kicks in and people are probably like, oh man, you can just have that keg.
Yeah, you know.
Well, no, when I say, hey, Dustin, lock that front door, yeah, he literally will walk over there, deadbolt the front door, and then stand in front of the door. So now the option of fight or flight is no longer.
Yeah.
It's just...
It's fight.
It's clean house. Yeah, because when you make the activation in your mind that it's time to go, it's time to go. Yeah, people are climbing out windows trying. I mean, it's the pandemonium that sets in, but it's just me and my group. That's just how we were mentally, right? Like we know. And don't get it twisted. Don't think that we would just walk in there and clean house. There's some big boys, and they'd thump us. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
you've taken some whoopings in your life.
Oh yeah, we just keep coming. You know what I'm saying? Like you knock me down, cool. I'm gonna get up and you're gonna have to kill me. Mm-hmm. So that happens a lot. Most of the time, like I said, we were outnumbered, and it was just a lot of fun. I love it.
You know what's crazy is the way you describe that. It kind of sounds like how in interviews I've heard you describe walking into the cage and they lock that cage door.
Sure.
And you know now, like you flip that switch and in this go time, there's no back and back out. You can't pull out of that fight. It's time to fist fight somebody.
But it reminds me a lot like correlations of what you would do. You know, like when you're lined up and now you're 4 away, 2 away, lined up. The guy's putting his hand in your tail and you're 5 seconds away. You look over and you see the other guy and you're like, we're getting this whole shot no matter what we got to do. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And it's like that, like, wow. We like to refer in our profession as a relaxed intensity, right? Like you have
when
to,
you know it's that time.
You got to somehow take all that, and you got to like focus it down into a relax and know when to pull the trigger and when to go.
Yeah.
Right. And it's a lot with the racing. I think that's why I love it so much, because there's so much going on, but you can only worry about 10 seconds in front of you, and that might even be too much.
Yeah.
Right. So. Same thing with fighting, same thing with training, same thing with locking the doors and throwing down. I'm not already worried about the party we're having. I got to worry about Bubba and his 17 boys that are coming. You know what I'm saying? And so that's one thing that and again, it's 2021 now. Things are a lot different. This was, bro, early 2000s, 97, 98, you know, like where the town I grew up in, Colorado Springs, Colorado, we could just fight, and someone might call the cops, and the cops come up like, yeah, go home.
Yeah.
Right, or we'd fight at the bar. So Denver, Colorado is where I moved, and we used to call 20th and Market Death Row. And that was like where the bars would let out. And at 2 o'clock in the morning, that's where the parking lots were, and everyone would funnel 20th and Market, and that's Death Row, as we call it, because you're getting in a fight. And as you guys know, if you're looking for trouble, it's not very hard to find it.
Right. Yeah.
If you're going out already searching for it, it's just right there. Yeah.
With that on your mind.
With that on your mind. So one look at somebody crazy, one comment, it's game time. So
all you needed was that reason, that excuse to do one or the other.
Exactly. And then so when we started kickboxing and training, we'd be going out and we'd be like, all right, tonight, Cowboy, left knee is all I could use.
Y'all picked a move for a fight, like, hey, we're gonna go fist fight people tonight.
And all you can do is left knees. That's the only punch you can throw, kick you can throw, or like right elbow. That's the only thing you can do.
Yeah. Couldn't tackle him, couldn't throw him down, couldn't throw, like, you just gotta throw a right elbow.
Or you can be like, you can only left leg kick him. That's all you can do is kick him with your left leg.
Oh God.
You know what I mean? But it made, because at the now you have no idea who training or how young, such a different thing. When I did it, the only thing that you had was the guy in high school that said, "Oh, I'm a black belt, and my cousin's a Golden Glove boxer." How many Golden Glove boxers?
Everybody I know was a Golden Glove or knew a Golden Glove boxer.
Right, so that's all you had to worry about. But I was really that guy.
Yeah.
So people would have no idea, bro. Big right hand is the only thing that's coming on a street fight. They're coming to crank. You already knew that. And then plus, you get in a 25-second scramble on the street, you are winded. Yeah, we were in shape. We were like trained. We kickboxed. We traveled the world, me and Mikey. So it's like, it was almost not fair, because it'd be like a professional fighting an amateur. I look back now like, man, that was probably not the best idea, but God, it was fun. It was such a fun time growing up. Like now, I wouldn't take much from somebody, but the option of me fighting is very low. Right?
It takes a lot more to get you that point, right?
Yeah, unless I'm road rage. Road rage to me like puts me over the edge.
Dude, that would get anybody.
like people rolling up on you at the gas station.
Yeah.
That's the deal killer for anybody. Yeah. Road rage will turn a sissy into a cage fighter.
No matter how big, how small, everybody can fight when you get road rage.
Right.
It's always curious to me whenever people are such a talented fighter and been doing it professionally for so long, is did they grow up rough like that? Did they grow up fighting? And it sounds like you did fight a lot growing up, and that's like what y'all enjoyed. Was there ever a time that you felt like, I'm really good at this, like I can whoop everybody I'm around, my boys know I'm the stud of the group. I'm the alpha. Like, did you, before you got into training kickboxing, were you like, yeah, bro, I can fight?
Yeah. I was telling Matt this story on the way up here. Matt's my videographer, so for people listening that don't know, and we were driving out here. He asked that same question, like, how did you know? Like, what was it? Well, so I got expelled from high school my freshman year for fighting. So I had to do high school and then another year again, right? I had to do one more year. So when I had to do the one more year, I was 18 now. Well, my grandma, who I'd lived with most of my life, lived in Denver, they rented me an apartment. So now I'm a senior in high school.
Living at your own place.
Living in my own place.
Too much freedom for a high school.
Bro. But I went to school. I got everything, you know what I mean? I didn't ever not skip or anything, but we had a lot of people. It was like the party house.
Oh, yeah.
And we'd always get in fights, and I ran into my buddy, and he's like, you think, like, you're good, you should come down and kickbox. So I went down into the kickboxing gym. Literally 2 weeks later, I took my first professional fight. Now, people are always like, how did you go professional right away? There wasn't really an option. Yeah. It's not like it is today where kids are trained and there's all kinds of levels. And fighting, I had to travel the world. Like, I had to go to Europe and fight, in Japan and fight, because there wasn't the talent level wasn't very big here. We ran past out really fast.
Yeah, it didn't take you long because there wasn't many options whenever you get in a fight. There wasn't an amateur circuit. There wasn't multiple local series.
There was, but it was just down in Florida called the ISK, and it was just whatever. It wasn't. I was like, I want to fight the best.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. At such a young age, you literally said, you know what? I'll travel the world and fight people. It wasn't like, man, let me just try my hand at this. Let me see if I'm any good at it. You was in.
That's in. Let's go.
You know what's funny is I see those same tendencies because you race now.
Yeah.
And like when you show up at the race, I see that same competition. You and I hung out right before the Silver State race. That wasn't very long ago. And you see that same killer instinct. And it's not like, man, I'm just kind of out here having fun with.
Oh, yeah. Now that we're talking about that, what's the guy's name?
Oh, here we go.
You talking
man,
about
that poor dude.
Evil Knievel that's going to tie you up next time?
Oh, man.
Van Beekum?
You want to talk about road rage? Bro, dude almost broke my wrist.
See, that's the danger of getting wild and racing. You also don't know who you're about to get into. So.
Yeah, I was looking for him at the finish line, but he had already packed up and hauled.
He had no idea.
But I'm going to see him again. We were in a 25-mile-an-hour zone. So you shouldn't have even got up next to me anyways. And then when it was time to go, I get it. You took off, but you just came over and clipped my wheel. I'm like, bro. So
I heard about that, but I didn't know that's what happened.
We got to set it up because there's a story behind it. So he's racing the Silver State. He's doing well. Like, he's fast in his car. He's got that literal checkers or wreckers mentality. Like, he's going to the front or he's going to tear the car up. It doesn't matter to him. Talking about Donald. And so there's a long section. Do you remember it? And I think, Quinton, you've raced the Silver State before. There's a long 25-mile-an-hour section.
Super long.
Yeah, that you really got to. And if you go into it with cars, like, you're looking at other racers.
There was 4 of us in the chain.
Yeah, and so for like 4 miles, you're doing 25 just staring at the people around you, the other racers.
Going over bridges.
It's no passing zone. Like, that's not where you make your race move. It's just your relaxed time, your rest. We're on like a public road, and until you can get back to the race course, like, you just cruise. Everybody's like, it's that gentleman's agreement. You kind of touch gloves before you start fist fighting. You just do 25 and you keep your position until it's time to race. Well, this dude starts easing up on Donald. Naturally, he didn't know who Donald was.
Yeah.
But starts easing up on him in the 25-mile zone and comes up beside him right as you get to continue race pace.
Yep. And
straight bullies him off the track. Like, turns into Donald, slams into the front of his car to try to take the line.
You got it on GoPro?
No, but his wheels came over and took snapped my wrist so bad I was like in agony, and I was like, "Oh."
Had your mind made then?
Oh yeah, I said, "Eric, write that number down." Yeah, for sure.
Mike, you locked the door.
Mike, you locked
to
the
the
door.
point, like, if he would have wrecked out, I would have just pulled off and parked my car
Stopped
and got him.
with him.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the equivalent of like in fighting, that's a cheap shot.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I guess it is,
and
right?
then I was like, man, you could have broke, bent. You know what I mean? There's like a lot of things you could have cost me the race right there, because you, like, man, I'd have let you by. Give me a honk, but we were in the race pace. Like, it's not like you caught me and you were passing me. You know what I mean? Right. Like, you're not even in the same class as me. You get a 4-digit number. So,
you see how fired up he gets about this? I know what it is. He's the tough guy in the bar that everybody thinks they want to test. Like, oh, you fight, huh? You train. Let me give. In racing, they're trying to bump you. They're trying to nerf you. They want to test you to see what it's about. But have you always been that way? If you went from just training kickboxing to fighting internationally, your first pro fight in 2 weeks, and then you jump into racing with us, and like you're running pro turbo class times. You get this fired up. Is it everything that you do? Mountain biking, jiu-jitsu, like you got a black belt fast in jiu-jitsu, right?
Right.
When you set your mind to something, have you always been that way? You just get into it.
Yeah, I just want to be the best at it, you know? Like, we took off and we ride, like, we were riding the four-wheelers. Like, I want to go buy a four-wheeler and practice, so next time I come down here...
You're better than us.
Well, not better, but I'm at least equal. Like,
Yeah.
you guys are wheeling. I wanted to wheelie. That bike couldn't wheelie. So
Yeah.
it's like, I see you guys like, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I want to be cool. You know what I mean? So, like, that's always how I've been with everything, and I just go buy it and work on it until I do.
And you can tell that because when we went to the BMF ranch with him, like you don't just have a nice little ranch house with some horses. Dude's got a full-blown race course on his house. You got a paintball course. You got your own full-size training gym there.
Right.
You've got a bunkhouse. You've got a general store, a barber shop, a saloon.
Right.
Like you got the most baller ranch that you can go hang out at. And so everything that you do, it goes to that extreme.
100.
Got to.
It's just the way that you live, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Live a life worth living, baby.
That's what he always says, man. That's what he always says.
When I was 8 years old, my dad was like, he's like an entrepreneur, so he's always buying and selling businesses. And I remember we walk into this big business he was about to buy, and on the wall was a slogan, live a life worth living and work a job worth working. It's just stuck with me my whole life. Just like we were talking about this mud butt thing we're doing next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I told Matt, like, man, I've never done that. I have to go to that.
Right.
I have to. It'd be criminal to the live a life worth living slogan and mantra that I preach every single day to deny myself of that pleasure.
Yeah.
I haven't even thought about it, but it's that same thing. He comes and mud rides with us one weekend, and we didn't even make it through the day, and he already had a plan to come back in town. He's bringing multiple people, his motor coach. He wants to set up a party at his motor coach for everybody to come hang out with him.
Right.
He wants to bring his own vehicles down. He wants to have stuff ready. It literally went 100.
Yeah.
It's just living that life worth living.
Man, it's just because fun is fun, but fun in a group is really fun.
Yeah.
Because if you just had a bike, like let's just say you had your Can-Am and you were out there ripping and roaring, and sure, maybe we get some video, we see how cool it is, and we're like, man, you're such a great driver, but it's not nearly as cool when you come hit a sick berm, maybe put on two wheels and rock, and you're like, Quinton, did you see that?
Yeah.
And he's like, that was cool. You're like, yeah, it was cool.
Let me try it.
Yeah. Right, that is what I love. So like snowmobiling, bike riding, like you got to have the reassurance or look over at your buddy like, yeah. So
Do you ever do that in the race car? Because I know a lot of times me and D do something like if we make a good pass or we get real sketched out, we'll kind of in the radio be like, bro, that was a close call, right?
hell yeah.
Or if he like rails, like you say, like a sweet berm or does like a beautiful 180, like I'll acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Because I don't want it to go unspoken. I'm like, man, that was
cool.
Like you did that perfectly.
That makes
and
that
then back to 100%.
That makes that experience better, right? For us to have all the four-wheelers together and ride together. And like you have like 6 or 8 Harleys.
Right.
And you say you have like 10 really nice mountain bikes. And you told me whenever we came to the ranch, you said, I don't want to have fun by myself.
Yeah.
I want my friends to have fun with me. I want us to do it together if we're going to do it.
Absolutely.
And it just makes it a better experience.
For sure. It makes everything's more fun because you're all engaged together. And they say, like all those famous people, like it's lonely at the top. But why is it lonely if you bring everybody with you?
Yeah.
So let's bring everyone with us. Let's all go. Let's all sit on the top, kick our feet up, and be like, yes, sir.
And that's a big impression that you made on us early on whenever we came to your place. A is how welcoming you were and that you wanted everybody to have fun. But
not only as welcoming as I would expect the same from you. Mm-hmm. Right? Like if you're like, hey, man, come down and hang out, and I came and hung out, I would just expect open, like whatever I was doing to you guys, like I would expect that too. Like, man, that's just how it is.
like to book your hotel rooms and stuff.
Well, yeah, that's different. But I mean, that you guys open your shop up, open your lives up. Like you don't have to get up at 8 a.m. and then go to bed late and then be here at 8 a.m. again. Like that's, you know what I mean? You guys are doing that because I'm in town and you're running hard and you're playing hard and you're cleaning the machines, you're making everything's working, and you're like, you're doing above and beyond that you would normally do, and that's so cool because I would do this. I expect the same thing for you to come to my house. Like all my guys, like these, take care of these guys, right? They're here. make sure they have a good time.
Man, you did. Whenever we came, man, it was quite an experience whenever we came over there. So for us, it was like, dude, he's coming to our place. Now we get to show him what we do for fun.
We love doing that. We talk about it all the time. We go hang out with people, and not that anybody's higher or lower, but some people just don't know how to entertain it or have that. And we're like, bro, everybody comes, we have to have everything working so we can all go ride, go to the lake, ride the Sea-Doo, whatever, like play paintball. Like, we got to make sure we show them a good time.
Yeah. Some people just aren't the same, and you need to understand that, right? Like, some people you're like, I jive. Like, we have, you could almost answer my question for me already.
Yeah.
And some people you're like, man, he's just not one of the fellas.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he cool. He's just not one of the fellas. Like, I don't know if I could.
Right. He just ain't one of us.
He ain't one of us.
We talk about that too. We're like, man, we like doing stuff with them, but outside of work, if like, I'll call D, we hang out just about every day.
Yeah.
BH free, same thing. Like, I'm like, I'd hang out with them outside of some obligation. Like, they're cool people.
Right. It's just.
And it's weird to live half a world apart or half a country apart. And by happenstance, we cross paths. The guys at BMF Ranch and then us. Like, you get that, you just get that vibe with people, man. When you hang out, it's like-minded people, and it's stuff that, you know, I would hang out, like Quinton said, I would hang out with these people. But you said something that your dad had on his wall that was live a life worth living and work a job worth working.
Right.
Well, is that what it was?
He was buying the company. It was just on the wall in the company that he was buying.
Yeah. And so you fought for how many years now?
18, I think. 17, 18.
So your entire adult working life, you've been a fighter.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Since I was 20 years old. My first fight, I know exactly how old I was because I had a fake ID in New York City.
To fight? To be able to fight?
Dude.
No, to go party.
Oh! To go out and fight.
So get this. So
This dude.
little backstory on me. I like to have fun, have a wild time. So we go to New York. First stop, we throw the bags in the thing. Coyote Ugly.
Yeah, got you.
My man.
Have to, yeah.
Got to.
Right? Weigh-ins are 9 a.m. the next morning.
This was the night before the fight.
Hammered drunk.
Walking in weigh-ins.
Hammered drunk.
This dude drops extra weight because he knows he's
Back
a part
then
of the night.
I was just like, didn't have to cut anything. It was just, I just fought above my weight.
Just whatever you was. Whatever you walked in at, it's
Yeah.
like, I'll fight somebody at that weight class.
And they were like, I can't believe you're going out. My buddy Mikey wasn't because he knew. So I didn't know it was going to be a profession. I was just doing it because I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it with everything. So, and then they were like, I can't believe you're going out. I said, well, I also love this. Like, I'm in New York, first time in my life, at a bar.
So you wasn't there to make a living. You was there to do what you had fun doing and what you loved. And so not only did you love to fight people, you also like to go out and party.
Yeah.
And so you were just the same weekend, I'm doing what I love.
Bro, I gotta go to New York. I gotta go drink. I gotta have sex with a Maxim model, and I gotta beat somebody up.
And get paid to do it.
What a list I have.
Back then the pay was $700, like $800. It was nothing. We would always stay wherever we traveled the world. We'd always stay longer, book our flight for a week, and we'd end up burning the money on the hotel just to go check out whatever country we're in. But yeah, I used to travel the world, and we just if anybody ever makes it to Japan or anything, Roppongi is the spot.
Roppongi.
Oh man,
Write that down.
man.
Quinn, write that down.
Yeah.
Bro, Roppongi is like Las Vegas. You land in Japan, you go to Roppongi, and Japan is very Yakuza, which is like a real thing, like the Japanese mafia.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So they run everything. You're like, girls are taking care of you. You're like a celebrity. You get off the airplane, people are going crazy, taking pictures, and Yakuza comes pick you up, and they pay you in crisp, brand new $100 bills, like cutting like out of a checkbook, like 100. It's crazy. Like dip them in wax and they like peel them off. It's crazy, crispest money you've ever seen. And that's how they paid you in cash. And everything was, you would go out with the Yakuza guys.
And you were good. Like, it didn't matter where you went. When you were there for that, you were good.
Bro, people wouldn't even look in your direction.
These are killers. But why were they treating you like celebrity? This is after
because
you
I'm
had
there
taken
fighting
off?
for them.
Gotcha.
Under their promotion.
Under their promotion.
You're their guy.
And never do they try to throw a fight or get me to do. That's never been the case ever. It was always straight up coming to fight. And they would just pay you and take care of you, but you'd go out, man. You'd just see people like, oh yeah, walking in anyway was cool. It was like mafia.
Yeah,
it's crazy. And Roppongi is so.
Roppongi.
But what I was saying is we love to party. So back in my early career, we had no idea this would be a real job. I was 20, 21 years old, traveling the world.
That's all you cared about. Like, bro, we're going to travel the world and party and I can fight. Like, I'm good with it. Who, you know.
And we just raging. I can't believe you go out and get drunk before your fight. Kind of like you're so focused like a week before your race.
Yeah.
Bro, I'd be hammered.
Going to fight people.
Yeah, you know, it was just so fun. Like I would wake up. Usually we were so hungover, we'd make weight. We would just have to rehydrate just because to get rid of the pounding headache.
Not because you would drop so much water weight, just because you had to get out of the hangover.
Over the hangover.
Just to get back to zero.
Just to get back to zero.
Just to get back to zero.
You're traveling these countries, and like most of this place that a lot of fighting in other countries is like rough too. Like these dudes train all day, every day, take it real serious. So like doing that and going out and being in like a deficit coming into the fight, did it cost you some fights?
Not only that, you're talking about people that have trained their whole life and they're ready for the fight. I'm the guy they would call on a Wednesday to fight in Japan on Saturday. So I was the last minute replacement. Hey, we need you to get on a plane, be jet lagged, and then of course I'm gonna hit Roppongi when I get there.
As if you don't have enough strikes against you.
So we'd swing on into the local watering hole and we'd just have fun and rage, and then we go in there and fight. And you know, at 20 years old, you know, you wreck, it doesn't hurt as bad.
Yeah.
You don't drink, so you don't know what a hangover feels like. But a 40-year-old hangover hurts a lot worse than a 20-year-old hangover.
Feels a lot different, huh? You can bounce back pretty quick.
Yeah, man, and everything was real quick. Like I don't even think you get sick when you're 20.
What's crazy to me is you said, like, even back then when you first got into it, you were the guy that they called on a Wednesday to fight on a Sunday.
Yeah.
And to this day, you have that reputation in the UFC, fighting at the highest level for the biggest organization with the longest resume. You're still the guy that they know, like, if there's a fight and somebody's out, Donald will fight anybody anytime.
And you know, now that I'm 38, and it saddens me because I always talk about retirement and the end of the tunnel, I can feel it. You know what I feel the most? Coming up to the fight, leading up, training, everything, I feel it. I can talk it and I sound big. But when I get in that cage, it's like I don't have that killer drive anymore. And I don't know how you find that, how you get it, if it's time. And I always told people, why would I retire? I'm not retiring. I'm here till I can't do it anymore. But man, it's like, I know losing sucks, and I've lost a couple of my last, and it like hurts, you know what I mean? Like looking yourself in the mirror, like you talk about these accolades and who I was, and I used to always joke around, people would say, I'll throw this football over the mountain. I used to play that,
You feel that coming, huh?
Yeah, man, you know the problem with used to be is they don't make honey no more.
Yeah.
Sucks. You know, I feel it coming, it's like, damn, so.
That's what I've always wondered whenever you're in something like that is, how or when do you realize it? Does your vision, you feel like, man, I can't judge his speed or depth perception, or your body aches worse, or do you lose that snap of like that killer freaking instinct? Like
killer,
my first
you hit me, I'm coming no matter what. I'm coming to get you.
You lose that little bit of like.
Well, like my last fight, he hit me big over the top, clipped me, boom, set me back. I could still hear and function. I wasn't on the feeling of I'm gonna get knocked out. Then he hit me again, and I could hear my corner like grab him, and then I have something in the back of my mind saying, "Man,
don't worry about it, just cover up."
Yeah, do we have CTE? Is getting hit a bunch, longevity? Like there's a lot of like things now that I'm older and have kids, and I'm like way in the back of my mind that come up front. So all this is happening in the 10 seconds. You know, it's crazy, and you have to make these decisions, fight or flight. And I don't know if I'm getting to the age where it's like, you know, like is it time for me to step away?
Because you think about those things.
Yeah, Dana called me. They're going to give me one more. They're like, we owe it to you. Like, I'm not going to finish like that. They're like, we owe it to you to go out in front of a crowd and set off into the sunset like you want to, you know? And that's cool on their part, but I don't know when I want to do it. I don't know what I want to do right now. Right now, I'm just trying to figure out what's next for me. And it sucks to have such a career like we talked about. Oh, you're this and you're that and you're this and you're that. And then I just don't want to end going out like, man, but the end of your career, you just, what the hell was that? You know, that sucks. Like ruined your legacy.
I think people with your personality, that's the way it has to go out. It's like there's no such thing as a bad relationship. Like passion has to end that way.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to call it quits.
Yeah.
So it's going to have to be a realization of like, bro, I'm not the fastest anymore. These dudes are younger, stronger, quicker. They still got that killer instinct. Like that's
For sure.
Something has to push you out. You're not gonna quit,
Right.
You know. So it's like, what's worse, quit or being pushed out?
Yeah.
If you pushed out, you didn't quit. You just like, bro, I gave it all I had. That's it. That's it now.
Man, I think a tough thing is that you don't have that fear of like, you ain't scared of nobody.
No.
You ain't scared to, and I respect it. You're not scared to lose. You're not scared to get a draw.
Right.
And you're definitely not scared to win.
Right.
But you start thinking those things of like, this could cause some long-term damage.
Yeah.
Or this could affect my relationship with my wife and my kids because of the CTE and the
Sure.
impacts I'm taking. But to be honest with you, and just telling you from the past couple of weeks that we've hung around with you, you
Don't seem retarded.
do not seem as retarded as you are.
We know you're acting, and that's not the real deal.
What I was really surprised about, to be honest with you, and what I want people to know about you from just getting a personal relationship with you and not
Right.
knowing you as like this bad to the bone that just wrecks people when he shows up to fight.
Right.
You're building a legacy. You're a very, very smart dude. I could sit and talk with you about your marketing.
Right.
Have you pushed yourself? Have you created opportunities? So for you, you're not limited to the next fight that you have.
Sure.
That is a huge part of who you are and what you've built, but you've created a legacy around Donald Cerrone that is a marketing machine. You have Matt with you all the time just to put out content with
Right.
you. But you have serious value to people to where you're not a one-trick pony.
Sure.
If there's something I could tell people about Cowboy Cerrone, is that he's a smart guy that has great vision. Even while we've hung out, you're like, dude, you're not exploiting what you're doing good enough. You
Right.
have a great opportunity to show people this wild and crazy mud riding life that you live.
Yeah.
Let's do that. To where it's not something, in my mind, it's not something that you should fear of like,
Sure.
that day's going to come. I know for me, racing is going to end at some point.
Right.
My vision's going to get slow. My reaction time is going to slow down. That's how racing works.
Of course.
But I'm trying to get to a spot that you're already out of. Like, I want to create that legacy of like, I'm not out of options. That's not what defined me as a person.
Correct.
That's what I think people struggle with, and they go too far. And you're not in that position. People will fight and fight and fight till they have CTE, till they have a terrible record, till they go out in an embarrassing fashion. And you've seen fighters do it.
Right.
But you're at a spot that you're comfortable. You can sit here with us and just say, like, you told me the other day at the gym, you said, I see the light.
Sure.
It's at the end of the tunnel. And the tunnel is not that much longer.
No.
And I could tell in your eyes, like, that didn't scare you.
No.
You're doing amazing things outside of fighting.
Right. Trying to just build the brand and grow the brand, right? It's just a while. Life's funny. Life's funny when you look back when you're a kid and how fast here we are. I remember being 18, thinking like, I can't wait till I'm 18 to be on my own.
Yeah.
Now it's like, man, Mom, can I just be 18 and crawl back in the bed?
Right.
Please?
Yeah.
There's so much life out there and so much experience out there, and here I am almost 40. It's like, man.
Dude, but you lived 10 lifetimes. You can't look back at your life and feel like you have any regrets. You've done
No.
it all. You've got how many skydiving jumps and
Sure.
like all the things that you've done. You've lived it all. You don't have to look back and be like, man, I want to go back to 18. That's people that they peaked when they were in high school. Their senior year, they were the coolest. They were the prom king, and that's where they peaked. Mm-hmm. For you, and even for us, dude, we're living 10 people's lifetimes to where we don't ever have to look back with no regrets.
Sure.
I think it's not dwelling on that being negative. Like I said, it's a killer instinct. You're
Yeah.
like, bro, hold on. I'm just going to go after this. Like, it gives me the same high, it gives me the same satisfaction or similar. Like, this is what I can do. I'm going to take advantage of everything that comes in front of me to the fullest. So it's not like, all right, I'm headed downhill and the bottom of the mountain's it. It's like, what's the next thing? Like, cool, I like to race, or I want to push this, or I want to push that, or I need a legacy, for my family. Like your clothing line. Like me and Dustin talked about it. Like we've all done a ton of stuff with a bunch of people that were like, man, they're going to be done. They don't see they don't see it as a shelf life and accept that and deal with that however you can, because it's not easy. That's the hardest thing. Like everything has a shelf life, and most of the time the funnest things are the hard thing to accept with that. But it's like, all right, what else can we do to give me that same high? How can I till the day I die. They gotta roll me to the casket. I'm so used up, you know what I'm
Right.
saying?
That's it.
So like hearing you and everything you do, man, you've applied the same thing that's made you successful in fighting to everything you do. Like your ranch, like what's crazy is like time is the most valuable thing.
Right.
But you did everything on your ranch with all the guys. Like it's free. This kids camp we talked about, like
Right.
all this stuff, dude, you're just nonstop. You know, so I mean the sky's the limit when you have a mindset like that and you can deal with all the demons of like your first love of fighting and like you're like, all right, what's the next thing? Like,
Right.
you know.
Dee, I know that you love fighting and you follow it more than anybody in our group. So I want to ask a few questions that, like, we've always wondered about it. For me, it's what was your fight that is the fight for you, the most memorable? Was it a battle that you went 5 rounds and it was just slaying each other? Was it a walk-off head kick? Like, what is your fight that you say that was my night? Like, is there one?
Like like that was my masterpiece.
That was it. That was when I was my best.
Ooh. No, probably not. That's when I was my best, but probably in the WC when I fought Razor Rob McCullough was probably like my favorite fight because he was the champ and I was going in there to beat the champ, you know, and I did. So it was cool. Like it just, and I remember I had to go lay down. I couldn't even go out that night. We were just so beat up, my head hurt, and it was just a back and forth throwdown. So that to me, back in the WC days, it was a fun.
It was like one that you had to earn.
Or I had to
win.
dig deep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So who has hit you harder, either in training, in Japan? Who has punched you harder than anybody ever where you thought, like, this dude freaking punches like a mule?
Ross Coleman, he's a bull rider. The hardest I've ever been hit.
Ross Cole. Does he fight?
No.
You just let him punch you?
The PBR did a thing with the UFC, and we came down, and the bull riders trained, and then we kind of went in there, and he wanted to spar me, so we went in there and started sparring around, and he cocked back and blew my whole. I was like, oh my God. What was this?
Rubber legs. Rubber legs, huh? Start doing a
form.
stanky leg.
He hit me so hard, I was like, oh my God.
Is he like a heavyweight or something?
Oh man.
Out of all your fights and all the training sessions you've had, this random PBR dude just had that forearm, that shoulder string just put the pop on you.
Yeah.
How does that stick out in your mind of all the fights that you've been in? That this dude,
Because it's just, I know on my how hard have you been hit meter, that was a 10.
oh dang, Josh, is it this dude in the
Yeah,
yellow?
Ross Coleman. He's a Ring of Honor, like one of the baddest bull riders out.
So he's just farm built, freaking strong, worked
He
his
don't look
whole
like
life.
he doesn't look like he hit very hard.
Bro, he
It was unexpected though, so that's probably why it's the most memorable.
Look at that dude there.
I mean, all right.
Hail Roscoe.
man,
Hill Roscoe.
I hope I don't ever cross paths with him.
Yeah. Oh, he would get out of the car and
Just dog walk him.
yeah, it's like, you know, when you got that stupid little mangy dog that ain't listening, you yank him by the car and just drag him. That's a dog.
That's a dog walk.
Oh man, the one fight that you never got to have, that you wanted, that never happened, or the one person that you wanted to beat, or
Probably Khabib.
you wanted to fight him.
I was scheduled to fight him 5 times.
God.
Yeah, so I think that would have been one fight I wanted, just to feel what he really has, you know?
Yeah.
He's amazing, great. So it'd have been cool to get in there and actually feel it.
Yeah, to see how good he was.
Yeah.
You know what's weird is that competitive nature. You can't help but be that way. Like for me, I don't know, who would you consider the best off-road racer? Like a Rob McCachran or like a Jason Voss or somebody like that. Like
Right.
I want to know
And on the lineup next to you?
in equal vehicles, can you beat me?
Right.
I want to see how fast you are. If you're fast, I want to know how fast you are.
Yeah, put your foot on the line, brother. Let's go.
Trying to figure it
Put
out.
your foot on the line.
Bro, Khabib's a scary dude.
I don't think so. That wouldn't scare me.
But no, I mean, you got that mentality though. You just don't get scared of people. You say,
Right.
"Oh, you do what I do. Let me see if I can be better at it than you."
Right.
Yeah, you couldn't do what Cowboy does, be successful at it, and at the same time answer the question like, "Are you scared of him?" Yeah, I'm scared of him.
That's got to be the truth, right?
Right.
You couldn't be a professional fighter at this level and be scared of anybody.
Right.
Feel like, oh man, I don't know that I can beat him.
Yeah.
You're in the wrong sport then.
Yeah.
You're doing the wrong thing. Do you follow so much? You got any questions?
Man, touching on what you guys said, like Cowboy, I think, when it's said and done, like you would have built, or I think people would remember you for more than being just a fighter, especially with everything that you've done. So man, you built that legacy that will, once fighting's done and over with, will surpass that. Like people won't forget who Cowboy Cerrone is, or only remember him as just a fighter, because you've done so many cool things. And maybe talking with you, maybe as you get older, priorities change, like
for sure.
Because I can imagine just hearing you talk like when you were younger, and if you get hit, you put your head down, you start swinging on people, and now like you think that if you get hit, you think about things differently. Like you start thinking about family and stuff. So as you get older, priorities change. So it's been cool to get to know you and know, because we followed you for so long.
Sure.
It's cool to get to know you, the other side of Cowboy, you know, because we've only ever seen, you in the octagon just pissed off, just mad. And that's not, it's almost an injustice to Cowboy fans, because you're so much more than that, you know what I mean? And I don't think any of us would have ever known like all the charitable stuff you do with kids and at the ranch with the fighters and stuff like that, man. It's super cool. So it's definitely been a pleasure for us, for sure.
Yeah,
and we're gonna just grow it more.
That's what I was just about to say, dude. We've got some things in the pipeline. It's done turned into a domino effect to where we hang out at BMF, you come down here and do this. Now we got some things in the pipeline just this year.
Right.
Like BMF and S3 is going to be doing some things.
A lot of things.
The biggest thing to me is that I would want people to know about, that we need to try to get people involved in, is you do a kids camp every summer.
Correct.
Which is really important to you.
And I'm excited for you, the S3 boys, to come down and see how life-changing it is, man. To see the expressions and the excitement and the learning aspect of these kids when they look at you and they're like, I did it. And you're like, yeah, you did, man. That's cool. Like you feel like accomplished, and they go home, their parents come, and they're so excited to tell them, like, it's everything we did, you know what I mean? And they just, it's life-changing, man. I can't wait. So we offer a free kids camp at the ranch. And I never wanted to charge, because I don't want only someone who has money to come. So it's like underprivileged, but some of them are underprivileged. You know what I mean? They just luck of the draw.
Yeah.
And but it's in equal opportunity.
In equal opportunity.
It's all expensive pays. You cover everything.
Yes.
For all the kids.
Yep. Correct. And
we get to freaking counsel it this year.
Yeah, you guys get a counselor this year.
Dude, that's what I'm so jacked about. But it's a good thing, because you teach them a skill. Like, you make them work there. You reward them for working.
Teach them, we train them.
You train them in wrestling, sometimes in jiu-jitsu, sometimes in boxing. This year, we're going to teach them how to work on the race cars, how to change a tire. So, like, if their mom broke down on the side of the road, they could help their mom get out of a bad situation,
Correct.
So it's not just, hey, show up and have fun and run around the ranch, and you spend time to teach these kids life lessons and skills and stuff.
And the cool thing is at night around the campfire, like, we talk, and you'll be able to, like, instill cool, like, judgment in these kids, right? Like, you'll learn that what you say matters. Like, you'll be talking, they like look up to you and listen, like, oh. And some of them don't, but sometimes you say the right thing and the one kid's like, yep. And you see it hit home, and you're like, got him.
So you're the writing, or we'll be the writing on the business wall, right?
For sure.
Like, that's what took you to where you are. You never forgot.
Exactly,
like, I remember
man.
teachers in school and things my grandpa said, and I'm sure y'all do with things you're like, that's literally have stuck with you, and you have no idea why, but you remember it to this day. And like, situations will happen, and all of a sudden, like, you remember that. It's like a moral compass almost. You're like, why is that sticking with me, and why do I remember that in this specific situation, and why is it the answer or leads me to make a decision, on whatever's going on? It's pretty wild.
For sure.
So that's super cool.
It's a crazy opportunity, man, and
I love it.
We're excited to be a part of it. But also, like, it requires some help. Like, if anybody is interested in helping with this, helping these kids and helping us do this.
I mean, for all you parents out there, know just having your own kid for 24 hour, 48, 72 hours, you're like, oh, just go outside and play. Right? But now we'll have 20 to 25 to 30. We haven't got the number of what we're doing this year yet.
And we can't tell them just go outside and play.
No, and you are there all day, and then you have to make sure they're not getting hurt and that they're playing within the means that we've allowed.
Yeah.
And it's tiring. It's fun, but it's when they're having fun, God, you have fun. When your team wins, you're gonna feel like, John got it, right? It's just so cool.
Dude, that's crazy to see a grown man that punches other grown man in their face on purpose. Say that about kids.
Yeah.
Like take that time.
Complete 180 of like a personality trait. You would think, like that straight alpha.
Yeah.
And then you're like, you know what? I want to have all the kids. That's what I want to do with my time. I want to have 30 kids at my ranch. Teach them axe throwing, paintballing, shoot, safety,
Everything.
Water sports, safety, the race cars, and we're gonna do it for 7 days, right?
Yeah, 7 days.
Yeah,
and you keep touching on safety. But that 100% is the trick. If you know how to safely shoot a gun, look how much more fun we can have.
Yeah.
Think about this. Think about the 5 of us on the boat last night shooting and playing with guns. No one was worried because everyone knows like you have gun safety, right? So that's the same thing you want to instill in these kids. Like where they're driving with their mom and the mom's car tire blows and he's like, I got it. I got this.
Yeah.
Look at the safety I give you, Mom. Sit in the car. I got this. I can handle a firearm. I can change a tire. I can ride a bike. I know putting a helmet on is what I should do. And you know what? Maybe today we're getting a little. Maybe I will put on. Maybe it saves his life. You know what I mean? So like teaching those safety is great, right? This is how it should be done. Now we can walk the line a little bit if we want. You know, it's just whatever they want to do in their life. But it's cool to be like, this is how it's supposed to be done. So it instills a great, like,
It's got to be self-confidence in them.
no, for sure.
Like to be like, I can fix that. If I can fix that, I can do this. If I can safely operate a gun, like I can protect my family. It's got to be that self-confidence.
Absolutely.
That you're offering them. And so, man, I'm pumped that we're going to get to be a part of that. Like I'm excited that we'll be able to touch some kids like that. Wait, what did I say? Listen, parents, we're not going to be touching your kids. But it's a good opportunity. But outside of that, like you've got always coming out with new clothing, underwear, koozies.
I got them on right now. There ain't no way I wouldn't wear them tonight.
And what's crazy is everything he's got, I'm like, man, this fits good. Man,
It's nice stuff.
everything
dude.
is, dude. I went on his store and bought one of everything out there because it's just everything he's got. So you're doing clothing. You got a full-blown race team. You're hitting Best in the Desert races, like full Can-Am race car. You got Matt on full time, like just traveling and documenting everything. You're doing stuff that people can keep up with you, can watch what you're doing. Like your life is out there for people to see.
And we're just trying to, because there's a lot of like famous people that you watch and like heroes that you have, right? It's cool. I never in a million years thought I would be somebody's hero. Like when I was a wild punk kid, never would I say. And when I was with the Tap Out guys, it made a lot of sense to me. They'd always mask the guy. He crashed his car and ended up dying. But the whole time, he's always like, man, my journey in life, Cowboy, is to find somebody. I need to find one person that can touch millions. I need to find one person that could touch millions. And I feel like I became that person, you know what I mean? That one person, and it doesn't have to be like my values, or I'm not trying to persuade you religiously or not, you know what I mean? I just teaching people how to get out, just like Can-Am says, like live their off-road lifestyle, right? Like just mine is live a life worth living. Like if it's Sunday, and I get this all the time, like I don't have the money to just go to Louisiana and play in the mud. No, you don't. You're right. But Sunday when you don't have work, why can't you get on the bikes with the kids and go ride the park?
Yeah.
Right? Like why can't you get out and do something? Why do you let your kid play video games and watch TV all day. Like, let's get outside, let's live. So that's what I try and instill, and that's like live a life worth living. That's, like I said, my mantra. That's what I want. I want people to be like, man, we have a 4-day weekend come up. Let's just jump in the car, kids, and go. Let's go to the Grand Canyon. It's free. Got to pay for gas, sure. We can sleep in the car if we had to. Let's get out and let's go do something. Let's go explore. What have you always wanted to do? What have you always, just ask them. And so that's what I try and instill, and that's what this following around and let people have a sneak peek into my life. And now, sure, we don't let them see everything. There's some things they don't see, right? But we try to portray what we're doing most of the time and just get them to live a little bit and being engaged in our life and enjoy it.
Man, it's such a cool thing. That's why I enjoy following your stuff and watching what you're doing, because it's a different aspect. People can see what you got going on. They can have a small piece of you with your clothing. Like, we train in your Muay Thai shorts that you train in.
Right.
Your stuff that you work out in, we got that stuff and we trained in it too. And so it's just, anybody can have a little piece of that.
Did you send him the picture from the other night?
Oh yeah. We were all set up watching the fight, man, and everybody was wearing their gear that we had at your ranch, and like, I had these Muay Thai shorts on. Quinton was in only your underwear. Quinton was in just your underwear, watched the whole fight.
No shirt on.
Sitting in the couch in your underwear.
Man,
D had your fight shirt on, like everything, man.
Cool.
Everything. One thing that I will make sure that I do next time is when Donald comes in town, book his hotel rooms a little bit better.
I'm bringing the RVs. I don't need you next time. All right.
D, I don't know if you knew about this, but so whenever Donald was coming to town, he called me. He's like, hey, is there rooms there? Can you make sure I got one? I was like, yeah, dude, for sure. So I called like 3 hotel rooms and hotels, and I found one. But I really only asked them for that first night stay. I was like, hey, do you have rooms available? Do you have plenty of rooms available? We got some people coming in. They're like, yeah, no problem. Just tell them to show up. So I was like, all right, cool. And so I told him, like, hey, go to this hotel room. When he got there, he's like, hey, it's under Donald Cerrone. And the lady was like, I don't have anything under there. So he's like, it's under Dustin Jones. She's like, no, nothing for that either. So he picked up the phone while he was standing there with the lady.
Bro, and Dustin had the biggest grin on his face. I can barely hear the conversation. I'm sitting beside him, and he's looking at me laughing, and I'm going, oh, man, what is he doing now?
I was so excited because I could hear her talking in the background. So Donald was like, hey, bro, I thought you were booking a hotel room for me. I was like, oh, crap. I was like, yeah, man, I did. I called and made sure there's hotel rooms. He's like, well, this lady's saying the only one that's available is for Jeff and Nancy Weatherman. And I was like, oh, yeah, dude, that's what I booked it under was Jeff. For you and Matt, it was Jeff and Nancy. Like, I didn't want to tell them who you were. And like they were.
Codenames. Yeah.
And so literally,
Jeff walks in.
Donald was on the phone and he tells the lady, he's like, okay, yeah, it's under Jeff. That's for me. And dude, I could hear in the background of Donald's phone, dude in the background says, my name is Jeff Waterman.
You guys trying to steal my room?
Are you serious?
Yes.
This is a true story?
100%. So me and Quinton are freaking rolling in the truck, dude.
Oh, my
Dude, he puts him on speaker because he's grinning ear to ear, and I'm like, bro, what is going on? And I can hear him, and Dustin is laughing. And I was like, man, I don't know if he's joking. It's really late, and like, what are they going to do if there's
And
no
we're
rooms?
tired.
And D is cracking
And we got to
up.
be up at, what time are we meeting you guys? In the morning? 7?
Yeah, 7 in the morning.
It was like midnight.
Dude, it couldn't have been any more perfect that the people were standing behind.
And they weren't there yet. They only walked in after the whole conversation went on with the lady, and then we were like, yeah, it's under Jeff.
And I heard that dude say, oh, wait, I'm Jeff.
Oh, my
Man,
God.
and Donald said, I'm going to stomp you whenever I see you. I was like, oh, man.
I thought at first that you just put them under like a funny code name, like them two were together or something, like, and that in itself is funny. Like, that's funny to me.
And that's why I was laughing in the beginning.
But how it played out is 1,000 times funnier.
The odds of Jeff and Nancy showing up to check in,
Oh my God.
near impossible.
Cowboy was almost believing him. You could tell he was asking, like, because he's like, are you serious? You really put our, is this our room? Did you put our names in this?
I don't know if this degenerate is like if this is real life. Like he might have put it under Jeff.
Yeah.
Like, and then the lady goes, well, all right, it's you're using your points. Like the room was taken care of.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And I said, bro, all right, I don't know if this is right. And he's like, yeah, I use my star miles. It's good.
So I'm literally fumbling my way
Making
through
it
this
up as
thing.
he goes.
But yes.
He's feeding it to you. He's feeding it to you.
Underhand cranking it out of the park, and then the dude showed up. So I was like, just book it under another name. And then I even told her, I remember I was like, book it under her name. And she's like, would you still like to use your reward points? And I was like, no, because if Jeff comes in here and
Could you imagine y'all both butt naked laying in them bed in that twin bedroom and then Jeff and Nancy coming in? Because you know the front desk workers ain't member of nobody.
Yeah.
So you check in, all of a sudden they're like, well, hold on, let me see your ID. Oh, that is you.
Yeah.
Oh, here's your keys.
Go on up.
Oh my God.
Oh man, so I'm gonna work a little harder on that next time because we're just a couple of weeks from getting back together. You're coming back down.
I'm
for
driving my
Memorial-
RV though, so I won't need none of that.
for Memorial Day, which for us is exciting because we're going out to Muddy Bottoms for Memorial Day. You're bringing some more of your guys.
Yep.
So some BMF guys, S3 guys going on a super wild mud ride. We're gonna host a party one night in Donald's RV, as many as we can fit inside the RV.
Bring all your kids free showers. Everybody use his shower. Don't worry about paper wristbands out there.
No problem.
Donald, are you bringing my boy Yair?
No, Toledo's not coming. He's, I don't know what he's doing. He's in Mexico right now. He would come, though, I bet, in a second. I could bring him.
Bro,
That would be sweet.
That could be D's
for sure.
co-dog, man. Bring
That
him.
would be cool.
We need to get another unit for him.
Don't worry about it. They can ride too on the Renegade.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, God.
After the trip to the ranch, I feel like Dustin and Yair might be cool with that.
Yeah, you for sure would be.
Donald's trying to confirm everything right now. You are never Jeff and Nancy and him again.
No,
He's going to make
no.
sure things are taken
I know,
care
he's
of.
gonna double- and I hate that because, dude, I like.
Oh,
I told
how about he already Jeff and Nancy me on the room at Muddy Bottoms? I said, hey man, I'll bring my boat down. Do I need to bring my RV? Oh no, the house there, it's ours. We have rights to refer. It's us. We want it. We get it. You want to put your boat on the lake? Done. I asked the guy, hey man, he's like, oh, you're coming down this weekend? Like, this house is booked. Like, not a chance. And I was like, can I put the boat on? He's like, no one can put their boat on this lake.
Out of Muddy Bottoms? Who are you
Yeah.
talking to?
Brad told him that after I literally just sat there and told him to his face, yeah, dude, we get the cabin. Like, don't worry about
Put the
it.
jet skis on the lake.
You can ride the boat.
He had mentioned that. Like,
did
you
we?
are not to put those jet skis on there ever, you idiot.
It's only ever happened one time and never again.
Yeah.
We did splash a lot of people, and it was really cold, so I don't know if that had something to do with it.
My friend's just out there making liars of me. I'm over here trying to impress my buddy now. Like, Donald's a
So-
big deal. I'm like, yeah, dude, we can do whatever we want.
Yeah,
whatever
so
you want.
I went ahead and rented a slip at Muddy Bottoms.
I probably could have got it comped if you just told me. I might could have got it for
So
free.
we're coming down. I'm pretty excited about it. It's gonna be fun. This mud.
Oh, bro, you looked at like a kid at BMF Ranch Camp. All right.
Oh, what?
Dude, what helmet strapped up, just giving that max frame Outlander hell all day.
Dude, yeah, go ahead.
And I'm not gonna lie, dude, I've owned one of those, and that thing is not easy to wheelie at all. It was 12 o'clock all day, dude, all day. He's looking at us, and then once he figured it out, that's all you hear all day. We're over here like, hey, everybody gather up, we're about to leave. All over the place, dude. It was cool for us to watch, man, because like we talked about, like you can still get that high of like when you teach a kid something and you see that excitement.
Yeah.
Like Donald's grown
Yeah,
man. We watched him, idolize him, watch him fight, and then we're sitting here watching him. I'm like, look at this dude. He's like eating it up. He's not.
Loving
Nothing else
it.
is going on in the world right now except him in that four wheeler.
Yeah, it's so fun. And that's why I can't wait again for
All your guys to come down.
Yeah, and I was telling Eric on the way down here, like, bro, I cannot wait for you to come try this.
You
It's
are not
so-
gonna believe what they do to these machines.
that was
like,
I almost verbatim what I said. Like, bro, they put them all the way under the water.
They will swim these things.
Yeah, it's so unbelievable what these machines can do. Like, if that's not a sales pitch for Can-Am, I don't know what is. Like, I would, dude, if I seen you guys do that and I had a machine, I'd be like, there's no way I would put my in there. I would like build a bridge and try to figure, you know what I
Trying
mean?
to get
Like,
around it.
Go around it. I had no clue they could do that.
Yeah.
Now, man.
Bro,
Like,
Donald,
you seen it because I came and you guys went in one end and you were like, you just dropped in the
dude, he
hole?
just came in the last day. Like, he was like, nah, I'm going down the deep end. We're trying to like, oh, wait, Donald, don't go down there. He's like, nah, I got this. Bombed off down that hill into the deep end that's usually like neck deep. And he just pops out the other side. He's like, what? Just waiting on us.
You're talking about today, right on the creek?
Yeah.
We were all nervous. We were literally trying to get D unstuck, and I was like, one of y'all go ahead and just make sure he doesn't flip that bike over on himself, because that's what happened to Logan today. And D's like, no, let's get my bike out. And I'm like, no, go down there. That's the deep end of the creek.
That's your boy. Quinton was literally like, Dustin, don't worry about it. We'll get your bike out. Go make sure Donald doesn't sink that thing. And sure enough, Donald comes rolling up like, hey, what y'all doing?
In the very hole that Logan rolled his over.
Yes.
Got the exact same one, yeah.
Yes.
Just over here floating my fan out.
Hold on.
What do I do now?
Let's back up a little bit, though. We did look up once we got my bike down there, D's and so all of a sudden it looks like a campfire down there.
Oh, yeah. Running high range.
Right in high range, just giving it all it had.
He's like, I guess
check
you
your
run
records,
things in
baby.
high.
How's it going?
Dustin, I don't know what's wrong with it. It said 80 on the dash. All the tires were moving.
Oh, man.
So,
That's awesome, dude.
I love it.
It's cool that you're into it. And then
Super into it.
we're gonna do that some of that some more. Now you know Donald's going back home and he's gonna sink everything he owns. He's gonna be like, baby, come out here and watch me. I swear they'll run underwater.
There's no way mine can do that.
Bring my
Open
dually
air.
down here.
Yeah.
He's going to have
gonna
a bounty hole built by the time he gets
Yeah.
back. Have it ready when I get back.
Local fire department, hear me out. I know we live in the desert. There's a water shortage, but I've got a track hoe on the way. I'm gonna need I don't know how much water. The hole's 20 by 40. Size of a shop. How do you fill a shop up? How much water for a burning shop?
All that.
Oh yeah.
What a good time though, man. I'm excited to go do that, dude. And I'm pumped that you came and were a guest on the podcast, man.
So what are we about to go do?
Yeah, this is crazy. Which you've done this before, but it
Several times.
exploded my mind. So we put out on Instagram just a little while ago. On yours, we shared it on ours, that we're going to crash UFC parties tonight. So people have been sending us physical addresses in our city all day long. And now we're literally dropping the podcast, jumping in the truck, and we're fixing to hit as many UFC parties as we can tonight. We're not telling them that we're coming.
Nope.
These people have no idea. They only know they sent us a message. We did not reply to the message. And we're just going to drop in, eat their food, drink their drinks,
Take a couple photos and
and
move on.
roll to the next one, dude.
It's so cool. And again, because imagine,
Oh, I'd lose my mind.
yeah, I mean, it's just a cool,
Lose our
cool-
mind. We've watched the fights at the house. We grill every fight night. We grill
Yeah, I mean,
every fight
imagine
night.
watching the fight, grilling, and then Chuck Liddell come knocking on your door.
Same
I
thing.
would-
Same
yeah,
thing. What's
right?
cool is that you're willing to do that.
Yeah.
Sure.
You're not a recluse in that way that you're like, dude, let's go see what they're doing.
Yeah.
He's been Donald getting more than me as far as physical addresses in Shreveport. He's been screenshotting. We need to see these people. We need to go see these people.
Yeah.
So I've got a running list of like, we got to run out of here, and we'll be running all night going saying hi to people.
Right.
You feed off other people's energy, though, man.
For sure,
That's like
man. It's
with
cool.
us and everything you do. All the guys at your camp, like we're all people we would hang out with. Like you constantly surround yourself with other energy, and you feed off of it. So, like, I get it. You're going to go to the house, you're going to see everybody's reaction. You're like, bro, this is awesome. I'm
This is
not
so
too
cool.
big for life. I'm nobody, but I want. If I can make someone's day, let's go do it.
I am nobody. I'm a guy that punches people in the face well. That's it. You know, so
Just good at
I'm
punching
just-
people in the face.
yeah, I put my jeans on the same. I'm just a regular old guy.
Yeah.
That's it.
Man, you live that way too, dude.
So
It's been a pleasure getting to know you thus far.
cool.
We got a lot more crazy stuff that
We'll
we're
have to
gonna do.
regroup after the kids camp, after everything we're doing.
That's right.
When
the
the
content doesn't stop with just what we talked about here.
Yeah, when the S3 boys, I'm like, hey man, you think I could maybe get another shot on that podcast? Like, you guys remember me? Like,
No, bro, you just reaching out, bringing this up with you, dude. That's just
Right.
how you roll,
That's
man.
it.
Let's do it together. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I've said since the beginning, dude, that you don't have to look in front of you. You don't have to look behind you. You look beside you because that's where we're going to be.
Right.
Shoulder to shoulder with you. Kicking doors down.
Kicking doors down.
But for tonight, we're just going to crash some UFC parties. So
Oh man, it's gonna be action packed because that's not where the fun ends. There,
No.
we're going
downtown Shreveport.
We're going tag team 5-on-5 WWE. Somebody's catching a power bomb tonight. So that's
Say
it.
y'all right now, yeah, dude, pull your locks off your doors. All right, yeah, I'm telling you right now,
Because if you don't, they're getting tore off the hinges.
Hey, Dustin, go ahead and lock that door.
Oh, man. You better hope you don't hear that old click, click. Man.
is that a Master Lock commercial?
Donald Cerrone tested and approved. So that's it for this episode of podcast. We're super pumped to have Cowboy Cerrone on here with us, man, taking time with us, dude. We've done some crazy things just in the past couple of weeks, and it's going to get crazier from here. So if you want to check out the podcast, you can go listen on Spotify, Apple Play, YouTube, Donald's channel. Go follow Donald. Go check out all of his apparel. Go check out the BMF Ranch. Let us know if you want to be involved with the kids camp that he is funding by himself. Any little bit can help, even if you want to come volunteer. So that's it for us tonight. We're finna go tear some stuff up, lock some doors, kick some doors.
If y'all don't like and subscribe, we're coming to lock your doors.
Yep, scared money don't make money.